everyone, I'm Griffin, and this is Stitching with the Griffin number 78. First of all, thank you to all of my new subscribers. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel and watching me. I hope you enjoy your time here, and please feel free to leave comments, hit the like button, all that good stuff. And if you're new here, welcome. My play channel is predominantly this. I say play channel. My playlist that you're looking at right now is predominantly about my cross stitching and my hand sewing and some embroidery. I do have a hand sewing project going on, but I haven't really worked on it. But I try to keep my videos fairly short, mostly about cross stitch, but I do review books at the end and do a couple other things from time to time, so feel free to leave at any time. It won't hurt my feelings, but I do hope that you'll stay at least to the end of the cross stitch segment. For those of you who are returning viewers, welcome back, and thank you to everyone for stopping by and spending some time with me today. I will not keep you long, or at least I'll try not to. Cross stitching, there's not a lot to talk about today. I have two projects that I have worked on. I did not work on my secret stitch this week. I had other things that I was trying to get to, but yeah, let's get to it. The first thing I'm going to show you is not that one. It is my focus piece, one of two. This is the Map of Middle Earth by Ankicoleman Designs. I am up here on page 1 of however many pages there are. And it does not have one of those charts that lets you see how your pages go. So hopefully I will be able to figure that one out. But anyway, so let me get it. It is a biggin, because it is a biggin. This is being done on 18 count Natural Aida 2/1 full cross, and it wants to pull down because I'm working in the corner. I do these, I stitch in hand, so but I tried to do it in such a way that my ends don't fray. That's why they're not taped or anything. But the last time you saw it, I was on row 2, or yeah, row 2, around the middle. So I finished that, and I've begun row 3. Let me see if I can put something under here, that way I can free up a hand. Not necessarily, but okay. So I'm here. Now these are fairly big blocks of color, so I was able to get more done. You can see this. This is 2/1 full cross using DMC, the called for DMC colors. So I did this, and there's some confetti that's going to come in here. It's right here. This is going to extend down, and then I'll have some more lighter color under there. So the bigger pieces of color I'm getting through fairly quickly. I can't tell you how many stitches I've done because I don't count my stitches. I'm doing 10, well, I was doing 10 by 10 blocks, and in some cases I still do. But if it's a large section of single color, I will just do that color and then just run my stitches that way. I would say that I have about 400 stitches this past week, give or take. Yeah, something like that. Let me get out this. Now, next week, don't want to show that yet. Next week, I'll be working on my other focus piece, which is The Magic of Books, which is upside down. The Magic of Books by Charting Creations Design, or just Charting Creations, we'll just say that. And for those of you who are new, I am mostly a full coverage stitcher. I stitch in hand. I don't really stitch with hoops a whole lot. But this will be my second, this is my second focus piece that I work on. And I'm on page 4 with this one. So here I am, just so you see. This is where I left off, right over here. And this coming week I'll work on that and then come down here and start working another row. This is also, this will go faster. I might even be able to finish this entire row because it's mostly big blocks of color. Now I know I take that back because I have this moth right here. And I want to say the wing goes up into here. It is all confetti. These moths, book butterflies, whatever they are all confetti. There is no blocks of color. It's all confetti. So that's going to go up this way. So I might encounter the tip of the wing up in here, but the rest of it will be big blocks of color. So that will be, I'm hoping to get another row done. I am halfway done with the page, as you can tell. So within the next couple of months, I should have a page finish. I was hoping to get 4 done this year, but realistically, I don't think I'll do that. I might get another 3, like I did last year. Possibly. Maybe. We'll have to see. I'm not rushing it. I'm enjoying the process of seeing, especially with charting creation, well, both of them, seeing stuff coming out of all the different colors and how the picture is coming together is a lot of fun. Now the next one, I have to get on my tablet for this. Let me make sure my settings are low. They are. Okay. And let's go here. So I work on, for those of you who are new, I work on one focus piece, and then I work on 1 or 2 smaller pieces off to the side. And I have a secret stitch that I'm working on, and the reason why it's a secret stitch is because the person I'm making it for does watch my videos. So, and I don't want to give it away. I don't want him to see it. This is what else I'm working on, and I'm just showing you the lower portion. Well, it is going to be the Winter Gnome. This is by cuteembroidery.com. This is where you can find it, is cuteembroidery.com. I did not see a artist listed for it, so I'm guessing that the people who run the Cute Embroidery are the artist. But I've been working on the hat. Let's see. Working on the hat right here, all of that, and oh yeah, and I got it done. I got the whole entire little hat done now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and start working on the gnome itself rather than going up top to do the hat part. At least now I know which side is up, which is that. Her little nose goes there. This is, don't get me wrong, I think it's 18 count Aida. It's a scrap piece of Aida, white Aida, that I had from another project. I will be doing this as a flat fold, so I'm not really worried about not having wide enough edges. Not sure if I will have pretty wide edges, but I think so because this is the edge of her hat. But then she has her body down here, so we'll just see how that goes. But 2/1 full cross using the call for DMC colors. As I said, it's by Cute Embroidery. I had a lot of fun with this one. Again, I don't know how many stitches I've done because I don't keep track. I'm too much in the process to count, and I'm not going to go back and count. You know, figure out, oh, well, I started here and this is my, I'm not going to do that. I know it's over 100 stitches. I typically do at least 100 stitches every time I do something. And we're 10 minutes in and I'm done. Well, almost done. With the cross stitch portion. I have to do the the wheel. The wheel helps me choose what small project, and I say small, they're not huge projects like Charting Creations and Map, so that I can have a third piece just in case I need it. Not a third piece, but so anyway, yeah, a third piece. Let me get through the ads here, and then let's see, do that. Waiting just a second for the ad because it always pops. There it goes. And okay, so there's my wheel. Gonna push the wheel. I get kicked out of this. Peaceful. All right. That's Peaceful Shores. Let me see if I have it up here. I do not. Where is it? I like Peaceful Shores. If you can't tell. Let me see where it is. Aha. Okay. It's too big to fit into this thing, but this is a DesignWorks chart. It was originally a kit, but things happened, so now I'm just using the chart. But it's DesignWorks Peaceful Shores, and I'm doing this on white Aida. I want to say it's no, it's not 14 count. It's 22, 20 or 22 count Aida, and there's a corner start here. I am using the Call for DMC threads. So I'm up here in the corner. You can't really tell because there's that picture-in-picture right there, but I'm up in this darker area. Now, my concern right now is that there are big places of unstitched area, and you can even tell on here because you can see the blocks. I think you can. I don't know. Sorry about the glare. I don't know if you can or not, but you can see where it's unstitched. The original fabric was also white, but I am thinking, and I'm probably, maybe shouldn't be thinking, but maybe I will do like a really pale blue in the areas where it's not stitched. I know it's like really, really cloudy, but I think if I put pale blue in the areas where it's not stitched, that it would be okay. I will show you guys when I get to that area, and then you can, say yes or no as to if I should or not, but just a hint of blue, I think. But anyway, that's what I'll be working on this coming week, so that will be fun. I'm just going to leave it out because I'll need to get to it. That will make me happy. And let me put this away. If I can fit it in there. I have drawers right here. For those of you who don't know, I have a little workstation right here with drawers. I had to get something for it. Alright, so for those of you who are interested, I do not have any shout outs this week. I do apologize. I have been watching My Usual Suspects, and Morty's got some. I need to add her to My Usual Suspects. Her and her husband, Brock. They are embarking on a new journey. I mean, they're still cross-stitching and they're still doing their stuff, but they're entering the camper van phase, which is reasonable considering. They have a very large van that they are retrofitting to be a camper for their trips, and going to all of the different stitching retreats that they go to. They have some reenactments that they go to. Their channel is called The Brahms Abroad, but if you follow Morty, Mad Morty and the Brahm, on YouTube, you'll find their sister channel or their companion channel, The Brahms Abroad, and there's some stuff on there. Also on Instagram, there's pictures of that. This van is actually a good sized van. It's a good thing that Brahm drives a lorry, a truck, because to me it looks intimidating. Now, maybe Morty is going to learn how to drive it too, or maybe she can. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for them. I just think it's fantastic that they're doing that. Yeah, I mean, I'm eager to see their little travels in this van once they get it done. They've been showing all the different phases. Just finished. The van just finished. The van is named Gomez, and it passed its MOT test. I'm not sure that's a British thing. I think it's like TxDOT, where it's a roadworthy test or something. I'm not sure, but they got the go ahead with that, so now they can finish retrofitting it and getting it all set up for them to travel, which I think is fantastic. Looking forward to more videos, Morty. And so that basically, pardon me, that basically is it. For this is the book portion of it, so if that's all that you are wanting to see, please like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the good stuff if that's what you want to do. If not, I will see you next week, hopefully. If not, I hope you have a wonderful life, and I will see you later. Now, for those of you who want to stay for the book reviews, I have been reading. I've had a touch of insomnia, so rather than trying to force my tired eyes to stitch or crochet, I have just been reading. And I read on my tablet. I have Kindle Unlimited because, as I was telling Hannah, the Okie Stitcher, I have no room for more books. I don't have a lot of space for anything really, but physical books, because I read so much. I can't afford all the books I read either, but yeah, so it's cheaper for me to get Kindle Unlimited through Amazon and read the books. It did take a little bit of getting used to reading digital books. I'm still not a fan. I prefer real books that I can turn the pages and hold and smell and all that, but all the physical books that I do own are all boxed up. I have read them multiple times, so I'm just reading new ones. And I have to say, I have gone down a rabbit hole thanks to Morty. She suggested the Vampires Knitting Club, which I've already talked about the books before. But when Kindle sees what you're reading, it does recommendations and things. And so while I was looking for something similar to the Vampire Knitting Club, I found a historical, what is it? Hang on, I have to look at my list. A Victorian historical murder mystery. Then I went from there to, let's see, a cozy fantasy adventure. Now that's my fault, because I read a book that I told you about last week, which was a Fellowship of Bakers and Magic, and Aidenshire Book 1, and that is considered a a cozy fantasy book. So I don't know where they're getting these genre things, or if it's just part of the titles or what they are, but anyway, so it blended fantasy and my murder mysteries together. So I ended up with a Victorian historical murder mystery and a cozy fantasy adventure, another one. And then it went to, I think I might have told you this one. Where is it? Okay, I apologize. The other ones didn't have the cozy little thing, so I'm guessing those were part of their titles. But anyway, so A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic I had reviewed last week, but I don't remember if I put the actual information in the description box below or not, so I'm wearing a blanket because I'm cold. It will be in the description box today. Same thing with A Shot in the Dark. Not sure if I wrote it last time, so I'm going to write it this time. I did not have a chance to go back and look. I am sorry, I'm bouncing my thing. Let me put my leg down. Sorry. I hope I didn't make anybody sick. But it will be in the description box below. Now, the new ones that I read are The Witch's Catalog of Wanderlust Essentials. It's listed as a cozy fantasy adventure. It's by Ciara Bloom. And, trying to think a minute. It is got several storylines running through it, but the way that they are woven together, it makes sense. There's magical time travel. There are actual catalog pages, but not like from a business. It's like somebody's journal listings. But anyway, it lists several different magical items that are used in the book, but you have to read it. It's actually really, really wonderful. The characters are quirky. We have a guilt-ridden vampire, what vampire is worth their salt? Can you say that? It's worth their salt. Many vampires are guilt-ridden, but this one especially so. There is mention of a famous bloodstone, historical bloodstone, but it's fun. It's a light-hearted romp. There's not a lot. I mean, there are some strange situations, but yeah, I think it's pretty good. Pardon me. Then this is the Victorian historical murder mystery. It's called The Raven's Keeper's Daughter, a Victorian historical fantasy mystery by Lana Williams. I can't read my writing. This one I found really interesting because even though it was a murder mystery, it was based around the Tower of London and the ravens that are there. Now, of course, the author took some poetic license with things, but they talk about, how the ravens are allowed to live at the tower. They're there, but they talk about wardens, the guards of the tower. There actually is a warden that takes care of the ravens, hence the name Raven's Keeper. That takes care of just the ravens. They watch them, they feed them, they make sure they come home to roost. If they get out, they go looking for them because of they say it's a superstition, but it's a historical thing. They say that if the ravens leave the Tower of London, the English monarchy and the country itself will fall. So they keep the ravens there. Now, there are not as many ravens as there used to be, according to this book. I don't know how many are actually there. It's something I'll probably look into because I'm curious. But for those of you who live there in the UK and have access to the Tower of London, can you tell me? Is it still fact? Is there still ravens there? And can you find out if there's really, how many are there? I'm curious. But they talk about the different things. Now, this is set in the Victorian era. We have their constables, not constables, maybe they are. It's the early days of the Metropolitan Police Department there. Not early, but still fairly early. It's Victorian era. And then there is a woman who is a chemist, but she's not like a legal chemist because women didn't carry those jobs at that point, and they didn't, men didn't think they were smart enough to be actual chemists. But anyway, so the story itself is really interesting. There's some nice, it's hard to explain. I'm trying to think of the words. I need words. It's not salacious. It is very spot on with the social mores of the time, as well as far as the way that the gentleman and the lady interact with each other and interact in society. Because she is a widow, apparently she is allowed, and he is a policeman, she is allowed to be in his presence without a chaperone. Not sure exactly why. I mean, I can understand it because he's a policeman, but the fact of the matter is, he's plainclothes. He doesn't wear a uniform. So, unless you knew him personally, or knew or professionally, you wouldn't know he was a police officer. So I'm not exactly sure how that works. I'm not from that era, so I don't know. But anyway, it works. I mean, she gets to go running around with him and goes investigating with him as well as on her own. It's a good little show. Good little book. There is a little girl in it. She is the Raven's Keeper's daughter. She's not blind. She's deaf and mute. So that's a good one. A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons, Aidenshire, a cozy fantasy book series number 2. It's the second book. It's by J. Penner, just like the first one. This one involves one of the characters, involves all of them from the first book, but it's predominantly about one of the one of the side characters. And I think that's what it is you're going to see all of the characters from the first book. We have one main character for the first book, and then one of the cast, the secondary characters, becomes the main character of the next book. So anyway, the main character of this one is a dwarf who is not into mining. She's into making tea and baking, but when she moves to Aidenshire, she helps out at a orc-owned and run bookshop instead. She likes to make tea. She makes tea for people. Tea magic. Anyway, she carries around a teacup in a harness. She's something. She's got it strapped to her. A teacup, and I think they said it was a spoon? Something. I don't know. But she's got a teacup there. Makes tea. Anyway, so running a bookshop, she likes to read, and she gets an inheritance, and things go from there. We get some new characters that move to Aidenshire, but then others that are just passing through. It's a good little cast still. It's very cute. You get to learn a little bit more about some of the side characters from the first book, and things just continue to go on, and it's a really good little story. It is a cozy story. So not a lot of naughty bits, not any naughty bits really, unless you're a serious prude, and then there might be some naughty bits. But yeah, let's see. A Whisper of Death. It's a Raven and Wren book, number 1 by Darcy Burke. This is another Victorian era book. Not necessarily a historical but it's like a Victorian murder mystery because it's in the Victorian age. Raven is the name of a lord. His name, it's short for his name, and I forget what, it's not Ravenloft. It's Raven something. And anyway, he's a lord. And Wren is a woman who is a private eye. Her family apparently had police officers in them, and they taught her how to do the whole investigation and detecting thing. But because she was a woman, she couldn't become a police officer. So she does, she does private eye work, private investigating work, mainly divorces and things like that. But a murder happens, and she ends up getting hired by Lord Raven and for her investigative skills, on the agreement that he helped. And because she is not a widow, she is a spinster who lives with her mom and a cook, and they inherit a butler for some reason. But anyway, for appearance's sake, she goes with him, and it ends up working out because he is a lord, so she's able to get into places that she would not normally be able to get into. Plus, she goes and does her own, they both do their own investigating, but they do it together. So it is a very interesting little story, very thought out, very well written. I enjoyed it, and there wasn't like sexual tension like in some of these books between the main characters. They got along. She she notices he's handsome. He notices she's kind of pretty, but they're very strict with their societal roles and everything. And while he doesn't treat her as less than, he is very careful with his, so that society, and she doesn't get offended too. But I mean, it's a good little thing. It's a good little story. Then there's one called Magic Diary and Magical Midlife Detectives, Book 1 by Lena Maria. This one I did not finish. I tried. I did. Woman is divorcing her rich husband, who is having an affair. She leaves, as she's moved into this little bitty apartment because she doesn't have a job or anything like that, because he didn't want her to have a job. Well, she lost her job because she told off the boss, her immediate boss, and that kind of thing. So she gets a letter, and it leads to a magical house with witches that use the house as a office. It has color-coded doors for each one of the witches based on their power. They use a journal, a diary, a magical diary that they write to each other, write messages to each other in, sort of like, personal PMing on, so people won't be able to find it unless they find the diary. Everybody's got a copy of the diary, so they can use it. The house is sentient, I guess, with all the magic going along, it would be. I mean, it's a very well built world. It's a very interesting world, but I really, really couldn't get into the story itself. It just wasn't pulling me. It wasn't guiding me forward. So I stopped reading it. I'm not going to spend time reading something I'm not interested in. The last one, and I don't know if I told you about this one or not, it's called Contracts and Cats, A Cozy Slice of Life Fantasy by Tony Binns. Sorry, Tony Binns. I can't read my own writing today. By Tony Binns. This is another sentient building. Young lady lost her job. Family is, her life is very miserable. She's unhappy. She wants something new. She's young. She wants something new. She's got a decent sized family. She doesn't live with them though. Boring job, that sort of thing. So she's looking for a new job. Or she needs a new job, something like that. And she sees an advertisement for a shopkeeper. And so she goes in and she does the interview. And the guy is like rushing her, here, sign the contract, I'm packed, I need to go. And she reads the contract a little bit, but not a whole lot. She sees a coffee maker and she's like, alright, I can do this. And doesn't read the fine print. I mean, she's contracted for a year. And she reads that she cannot leave the shop. If she leaves the shop, she has to have a replacement. She has to find her own replacement. And so, she's like, okay, that's really great. There's coffee. I'm all on board. She signs the contract. There's a cat involved. Not the usual kind of cat. There is magic involved. Which apparently in this world, in some worlds, she knows about magic. She has, I'm trying to think if she has her own magic or not. I think she does not, but I'm not sure. Anyway, come to find out, she lives in the shop. That was part of the contract. Part of her bennies was being in the shop, living above the shop, being able to eat in the kitchen. She could make her meals in the kitchen if she wanted. And she knows how to bake. She's supposed to bake goodies for different things, but come to find out, she cannot leave the shop at all. Once she moves into the shop, she cannot leave. There are 3 floors to the shop, and the upper floor is like a mezzanine. It's got skylights and all kinds of stuff, so there's plenty of sunlight. She can sunbathe. There's even like a little pool or a hot spring or something there. But she learns that the shop is sentient to a point. I mean, it's not like it's going to talk to her, but if she talks to it and asks for something, it will attempt to get her what she wants. Hence the coffee machine. It helps her with baking and stuff like that. So in the course of shopkeeping, it's a bookstore. It starts out as a bookstore. It's mainly a bookstore, but there's other things that it becomes later on. So it changes location as well as time. And when it's in the normal time and location, she's able to have family come visit her. She develops a relationship with the crotchety cat. She develops a relationship with the house to a point. I mean, as much as you can. She meets people. She settles in. She's not quite, crazy about everything, but she's pretty content with what she's got going on. And there might be a dragon in there somewhere or two. Of course, it wouldn't be a fantasy novel without a dragon or two, right? Right. So those are my recommendations. That one is a very good book. But all of them were really, really good in their own genres and their own styles, except for the Magic Diary one. Didn't really care for that. And I'm starting to get a little scratchy. Haven't been sleeping as well as I want to. The temperatures are fluctuating where it's warm during the day and cold at night. Chilly. It's not cold. It's chilly at night. And so I'm still trying to get acclimated to, well, you can't get acclimated to something like that, but I am longing for our warmer weather to stay put. We've had some rains, we've had some storms, you know, that sort of thing happens. But that, I went overly long today. I do apologize. I went 40 minutes. Normally it's like 30 something. So I apologize, folks. I will stop waffling and I will see you. For those of you who watch my crochet video, I will see you tomorrow. For those of you who do not, I will see you next week. Bye.